What's going on? We back again. Babe, what we recording today?
We are doing a reaction video to the Fresh and Fit podcast.
Alright, so we're going to get straight into it. There's always some controversy going on with them, so.
No, for real.
Yeah. Drop the clip.
Who loves more, somebody with high standards or low standards? All else equal. Because that's what you're essentially saying. I would say the person with high standards loves more because you're being more selective of your partner. So, of course, you're going to love that partner more.
But it's 100% contingent upon the other party's ability to provide and perform, is my point. Like, a woman doesn't have a burden of performance to garner love from her man.
I mean, if you're telling guys to, like, look for a woman that's just young and can cook, then, of course, there's no burden of performance.
Yeah.
But again, like, how much of love is that? Like, I love you so much. Like, why? Because I can cook and I'm young? Like, you can find a million girls that can cook and you're young. If you get two reasons for it, then, like, yeah.
That is true. But what I'm saying is that if you take a majority of men versus a majority of women, a majority of men would like a majority of women. However, a majority of women definitely don't like a majority of men.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I think women love more. Because when they pick somebody, they're selective about it. They put more time and energy into it, for sure. Whereas for a guy, a woman is a lot more replaceable. That's why even Sneeko over here was like, oh, you know, you might step out of another or whatever. It's like, okay, well, how much do you actually love your woman? Are you willing to do something like that? Like,
that has nothing to do with how much you love the person.
It absolutely does.
Why?
Because it requires you to step out of your own selfish frame of reference to see how your partner feels about something. If you only prioritize the things that you want in life, that says something about how you view love of another person.
It's not really prioritizing, it's just doing what you want to do.
Yeah, that's called being selfish. It's usually what you do when you don't love somebody.
So they can get what they want, but we can get what we want as well?
Depends on what you want. If you're dating a cannibal and they want to eat you, it's not like both of you have fair ass, right?
What we ask for is so small, though, compared to what...
Other women to be disloyal, to maybe knock another woman up, to maybe step out of your girl and just start dating another. How is that a small ass?
Not only that, bringing something back home.
Yeah, what
like
STDs you
like,
got? Imagine you come home and you're like, oh shit, I got another girl pregnant. Like you're in a fucking world of agony there.
Yeah. See, the thing here is
That's
that,
dope.
and the reason why I disagree, and I get where you're I see where you're going with saying that women have
All right, so
All right.
our reaction.
Alright, go on and start it off.
Okay, so the first thing that he was saying is that basically women are more selective than men are when it comes to choosing somebody. But like my question is, choosing them for what?
Right, like is this long term or is just somebody you
Yes.
just find attractive?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I can go and say I feel like men are selective when it comes to like long-term relationships or like marriage
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And for women, a lot of the time, like generally speaking, if we're trying to get into a relationship with somebody, then we're thinking about it long term. So yeah, we're going to be selective about that. Like I don't think that that's a bad thing at all.
Right, and I think that's what dude was saying too. Like, for real, everybody should be more selective, because especially if there's something you want to be in a contract with, basically, like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't just write a contract and be in this contract with just anybody. Like that ain't smart in no type of way of life, business, whatever. Like you don't just sign up for anything.
Exactly. And relationships in general are sacrifice. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You're making sacrifices, but for the right reason. So, like, things that you would have done in your single life, you're not going to do in a relationship because you're making sacrifices for the relationship and thinking about what your partner would feel about
Right.
the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
So,
People don't, that's the crazy thing. People don't think of relationships like from that point of view. People come in like,
don't
I
want to
wanna,
give up anything.
Yeah, they don't want to make any compromise. That's what it is, compromise. You want to come into something with somebody else, but you only want to focus on your benefits. You got to focus
Right.
on, now it's a team effort. What benefits me and my partner?
Right. Just like Sneeko was saying, he was like, oh, yeah, I'll go and mess with another girl, and then you still want your relationship too. Like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Like, if you, it's different if the girl is open to that kind of relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if she's not, and she's thinking that she's in a monogamous relationship, then that's what it should be. Like, that's her boundary. You know what I mean? Same
Yeah.
like vice versa. If the man has that boundary, then that is his boundary.
Right.
So if you're trying to make a relationship work and you're loving somebody, you're thinking about how that would affect them.
Right. That's what a relationship is pretty much about, is working on what you cool with and what they cool with. And this the crazy part. If that's your game plan, like if you want to have multiple women, it's women out here that's cool with that. That are like, all right, my man is going to do his thing as long as he come home. There's a lot of women out there like that. And
So
if
go be with those women.
Yeah, but and the thing is, if this woman ain't with it, this is more on a bigger level, like as far as your purpose and your path in life. It's not meant for you to cross paths with this person if y'all not on the same page. So y'all just wasting each other's time. So you better off going with whoever is with your program and vice versa. Like, go with who's with your vibe.
Yeah.
And you ain't going to have a lot of the problems. If y'all don't have the same foundation, the relationship is not gonna work out.
It's hard for people to. It's easier said than done, though, because like if you tell like a man that, then they're not gonna want to get rid of the girl that they think that they're in love with, but they still want to go and like cheat.
But that's not player. Like you talk to somebody that's like really player, or like even like a pimp. A pimp will go be straightforward. Like this, what it is. If you ain't with it, get to stepping. I know 10 more just like that. Like, and that's how people's mindset should be. Like, if this person ain't on what you on, this can go for anything. This can go for on the other foot. A woman may say, I want a man that's gonna take care of everything, and I don't want to have to cook or nothing. If he not with that, then she with the wrong dude. Go find the next person, and you'll find somebody that's on that wave to be like, all right, cool, you ain't got to cook. I'll work, and you can just look good.
And that just goes back to just setting your boundaries and knowing what you want in a relationship. But like they made really good points, like because the one dude, who was it? Fresh was like, oh, but what we want is so small to go out and cheat. Like, that's not small. That literally ruins families. Like, say you go out and get another woman pregnant. Now you have 2 families and 2 separate households to take care of. So not only is that taking away from the family that you have at home, but it's taking away from your child and time that can be spent with him.
Yeah.
Plus, you already have your job, I'm sure, and things that you need to do in your personal life. Now you have to split your time with all these children in different households. Like, that's a big deal. That's not something small.
Yeah, and understanding men, like they always talk about how men and women are different.
Yeah.
So you got to understand what may not be a big deal to this person, to this gender. This one may think a different way. So that's where the communication come in. That's a lot of the stuff like people don't see eye to eye on, but ain't willing to step outside of the gender's state of mind. Like, all right, men, we're logical. But we don't take time to learn emotion, and vice versa. Women are more emotional, but if the woman is not taking time to learn how her man thinks, like it's always going to be conflict, and that comes with, all right, now once you understand how they feel and think, now this is where the compromise come in. And if it's something that you feel is too major to compromise,
then don't compromise it.
Yeah,
like,
then don't compromise. It ain't meant to go like that.
It was just funny to me with that podcast in particular, like they are so set on like their women being loyal, but like you want to be disloyal. So how does that make sense?
And this is like a disclaimer. I don't really care about the backlash. Me and like the type of dudes I was brought up around, these the lames. Like these was the dudes in school that the girls didn't pay no attention to.
That was literally them.
Yeah,
That's why they act like this.
Yeah,
now.
like this. You got to talk to like you had somebody like a TK Kirkland, or you know, a cool dude. You can have Chris Brown on there, like a regular dude that's just naturally got a personality the women just like. These dudes is the nerds that wasn't cool growing up, and now they got a bag, and now they like, all right, now I can get women now. But they not getting women off of the vibe. They getting it off of
clout.
Yeah, the clout.
They're not
in the
actually
bag.
getting women that like them.
Yeah,
and they be lying. I don't like them.
Yeah, so then what end up happening? Women not like men can understand. We could look at somebody like them, all them the lames, but a woman might not understand that, and they go to these dudes for advice, and then they get this backwards advice, and it ain't men, it's the lames. You went to the lames and got the game. You supposed to go to somebody with the game, and because
they don't give terrible advice, but it's like the way that they give it sometimes.
Right.
Not even the way that they give it. It's some of the advice that they give isn't right. They do have good points sometimes because I used to watch them, but like they always have like these bird women on their podcast to try to make women look bad. I feel like it's all women that all think exactly the same, and they just are repeating the same rhetoric like over and over again, and it's like annoying.
Yeah, they got to get the women with the backbone. Like they ain't about to let you just sit up here.
No, they kick them off the show. If
it's a
like
lame. That. Yeah, like
they kick them off the show. I forget who it was. It was like Asian Doll or somebody was on their podcast, and like they kicked her off the podcast because she didn't agree. Like.
And she's not a bird, she's not going to get walked over, but the lames can get over on certain types of people. That's kind of like the response to Fresh and Fit. Like, it's a cool podcast. You would get some pointers, it's cool, but as a whole, go to, like, No Fugazi. No Fugazi is a podcast. That's a cool, smooth dude that's going to give you game, but be respectful at the same time. Like, he's not going to get triggered because you said something that sparked his high school trauma.
No, for real.
Like, get turned down for homecoming, like.
That guy on there, though, Destiny, he was putting out some good points.
Yeah, he kept it G. So,
shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to him. And a lot of times people just don't want to they don't want to keep it real with themselves. Like, you know, say for example, dude was like, I like to sneak out. You don't come home and be happy like, yeah, I done got over. Like, no, I'm pretty sure you feel bad at the end of the day. Like, don't sit and preach a message like that when in reality it's gonna lead somebody down the dark hole. Like you said, it's diseases. You might get somebody pregnant. Like, all of that stuff that come with it. Like, so keep it a buck.
Yes.
And if the woman ain't with that, then get you some, like, polygamy. You see all these posts
all
about
types of
the
people in
polygamy. Like, it's a crowd for you.
Yeah, definitely. But don't do it if people, like, I feel like that's so messed up because you could bring something home to, like, your girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, or to your man if you're a girl that's stepping out or whatever, especially if it's unprotected, which nowadays most people are unprotected. So, like, hello, you don't even care about your person for real because...
Yeah, that's cat. I think, like dude said, you can still love. I think the difference, it ain't love, it's value. It ain't so much like, and that's not,
way to put it.
It come down to value. It ain't about if you love this person or not. Because you look at that relationship the same way you look at like a friendship. Like, if you got a friend and you value y'all friendship, certain stuff you not gonna cross because you know the value of the friendship mean more. But if you had somebody that was so-called a friend, they cross you, first thing you say, man, that wasn't my friend.
Facts.
That wasn't my friend for real because they values wasn't there. So that's all it come down to.
Definitely.
Value. Don't focus on the love. Like, value the person you with, and that'll make you think about the way you move and how they'll feel if you move a certain way.
No, I agree. That's like when people say, would you rather have loyalty or love? Like, people's definitions of love is all over the place. So,
people kill people they love every day.
Right. That they love. Like, people's definitions of love are warped in general. So, but loyalty is pretty straightforward. Like, this is what I consider to be loyal. This is what I consider to be disloyal. Right. And so if you love me, you would be loyal. Like,
so start y'all relationship off with that when you meet a person. Boundaries. Don't feel any type of way with sharing how you feel, because at the end of the day, if you don't say how you feel, you still feel how you feel at the end of the day. You might not have said nothing about it, but
the other person just doesn't know.
Right. So let them know this is the contract. Like when you go to a job, you go through orientation. This what we accept. This what we don't accept. You do this, you getting fired.
Literally.
That's it. Now, if you don't want to work here, don't work here then. But these the rules. You don't want to follow these rules, man. Head up the street. Work up the street.
And I think both people should have that going into a relationship. Like, they're like things that they will not like non-bendable rules kind of thing.
Won't tolerate.
Yeah, like things that they need in a relationship. Non-negotiables. That's what it's called.
Right.
Yes, they're non-negotiables.
Yep. So at the end of the day, the way that the energy in this world work, whatever you put out is what you get back. So if you think you about to get over on somebody, there's no such thing as getting over on somebody, because at some point you're gonna get your receipt. It may be immediately, maybe years down the line. You might have been not taking this good person serious, and then down the line you meet somebody and you feel like they the world to you, and then they done got over on you. But in reality, this is what you put out at one point. So this is what's gonna come back. That's just how life works.
Facts.
Yep. So that's the law of attraction.
Yes.
Put out, get it back.
Okay. Period.
Yeah. So we got more on the way. Just stay tuned with us. Any last words at the end?
Nope. That was our reaction. More to come.
More to come. Subscribe, like, comment, all that. Next time.